You could have all the same pop-in, but if Sonic in this open space was super fun to control, then the game would be super fun to play almost by default.
What bothers me more than anything, though, is that jumping kills all your speed. I'm constantly discouraged from jumping because I know it's gonna slow me down.
This was the spindash we had been waiting for more than 10 years for.
It is ass, bro.
You will be the first.
Irrelevant.
Fucking compete!
I can't do this!
Can I please just give you a kiss?
Oh fuck, not again! Hey, wait a fucking minute! Recently, I've been thinking about a lot. Mainly about drowning myself. I mean, part of that was because I literally recorded this like 2 fucking weeks ago. And then as soon as I find the time to edit this video, oh look, my audio wasn't even fucking recording, so I've got to do this again. And then I was also brought to my breaking point solely because of this piece of shit. When I beat that Easter egg, the shoot house video will happen, but I was worried that I wouldn't have a video for ages until Sonic turned 32, the old cunt. Once again, this happened fucking ages ago because I've literally just not had time to do anything. But also, it's no wonder that the boost games have been slowing down. That old man is a fucking old man. When update 1 happened for Frontiers, it was nothing more than a quality of life update. Disabling the power boost scene so it doesn't play every single time you get a power boost, even having the power boost in Cyberspace. Leveling up speed can be done in massive chunks instead of the game misleading you by making you stand still for an hour, and as soon as you move again it'll make you feel like you're going a slight bit faster, because anything is faster than standing still forever, and I never even noticed that the speed stat is only really for climbing speed, and I think it's for the drop dash as well, but I actually can't tell. But the only reason max speed makes you faster is because you have a permanent power boost, but fuck it. Then you have the ability to replay Titan fights in Battle Rush, even if the goal is to get a good time. I couldn't give a single fuck. This is the boss selection mode. You just have to put it with everything else, including that cunting shark. Then there was extreme difficulty, where Sonic's combat and rings couldn't save you, so you have to actually be somewhat decent at the game. Although I never really played it, probably because I couldn't be arsed when the base game just didn't really feel fun or satisfying to play. No tricks or shortcuts unless you use cheating exploits, which Sonic Team left in because it makes the game more interesting, and sadly, for whatever reason, the Hedgehog May Cry mods made it so you couldn't even die in Extreme. How did that one happen? I wanted to play Extreme in that mod because I've always said it was the definitive version of the game, with a parry that requires skill, as well as making the combat feel like you're fighting instead of pressing one button and then just watching enemies die. To me, Update 1 wasn't worth making a video on, but then came Update 2, the birthday update. Holy shit, did I cream myself. The unholiest levels of respect. I didn't think they would ever do the things that they did. The gameplay you are witnessing is the new update without any mods. Well, to be honest, in some of these clips, I think I left the code on for tighter jump rotation and tighter drop dash rotation, but that's irrelevant because all you really need to see is the ability to maintain speed after jumping. And Sega, Sonic Team, I'm gonna suck you lads dry for this. It's funny because I think Update 1 actually had more content, but Update 2 actually improves the game. Then you got new platforming challenges added in every island, and they require more than one input from the player. These action chain challenges can honestly lick my dick hole, but at the same time, it gave me the same satisfaction that I get from the PO6 scoring system. You have a minute to basically make a stage in your head, and then absolutely boss that shit, with no flaws, in the most stylish way possible, or just find a tower and rinse the shit out of it. But I swear, some of these S ranks, they are tighter than my fucking arsehole. Mainly looking at Arenos. Prick. But I was made to just explore in a way that was fast and looks cool. But that wouldn't even be possible if the game was still playing like a flaccid 2-inch cock. Cover your ears, lad, because I'm about to mention the forbidden word. Okay, so momentum was added. Boost jumping has become a thing, and finally running around the islands is just fun by default. This making changing actions for the action challenge actually enjoyable and possible to reach these S ranks, because I swear, some of these made 1-2 look like Luminous Forest from Forces. And just like PO6, there is a massive incentive to S rank everything, because the second you beat that last challenge, the spin dash is unlocked, and when I say I wanted to cry. I fucking meant it. When DLC 1 was out, people found code for the spin dash in the files, and apparently Sonic Team wanted to release it back then, but thought it wasn't ready, and ended up taking their time to get it to the standard of how fans would want it.
Don't lie to me, boy!
If you had told me that was their plan, and that's what they said, I would have told you to shut the fuck up, because there was no chance they would have actually taken the time to perfect something. I would have put my left bollock on the line to say that, yeah, knowing these cunts, they would have just rushed out the spin dash and just make it a fucking drop dash that has like 2-second charge time or something and just make it like biggest pile of arse I've ever seen. But thank the Lord, my bollock was not on the line, because them being actually serious about that was the last thing I expected.
Who are you people?
Especially with how pathetic the drop dash is, and still is. But the spin dash is just as good and as fun as the Sonic Adventure 1 broken and spammable spin dash. For years the spin dash has been taken away and only given to classic Sonic just for that little shit to waste it. And then you get to the point where momentum physics are actually in the game that had none to begin with. Although it's not exactly how people probably want it. For starters, the boost is still basically a run button. You go up, you go down, left, right, it doesn't matter. So long as you're boosting, Sonic is going to move at the same speed. Momentum only exists so long as you're in spin dash form. And what I mean by that is literally, if you launch yourself in the air, so long as you hold the spin dash button, your speed is going to be maintained as you travel through the air. But if you let go of it, then Sonic is basically just reverted back to his default settings or coding or whatever, and then just stops and starts to drop. And also, quick reminder, this is what the first reveal looked like 1 year ago. Look at that jump. Making me suicidal thinking about how I actually loved this game before this update came out. But now, 1 year later, this is what the game looks like.
This is amazing! I feel incredible! Yes! I can win! I feel great! I can do this! Yes! I'm home! I'm alive! This is all a miracle! I'm awake! I'm wide awake!
And I once said this in a video.
A game shouldn't need to have a million fucking patches before it becomes fully finished. What we pay for on the disc is what we should get from day fucking one.
Yeah, I take that shit back. I don't actually. Frontiers is the exception, not the rule. The thing that makes me so happy with this update is everyone now has a version of the game that is at least 8 out of 10. Maybe 9 if you want to push it. The only thing holding it back from being a 10 is the ending. I can accept the animation, or at least the cutscene animation, because I understand there's like 2 types of cutscenes. Ones that are made to progress the story and act like an actual movie, and then the ones that are just meant to be dialogue with NPCs, like you would have in other games. Pretty much these cutscenes are the ones that everyone would just always shit on, but I never minded it because it was clear. Cutscenes where you have 2 characters standing and talking, they're not really meant to be cutscenes. And even then you see like a little bit of extra effort with the extra camera angles and all that shit. Like, I don't fully think it was fair to judge these types of cutscenes, you know. I think it's fair to judge these types of cutscenes, and if you think the animation still looks a little bit off, fair enough, it does kind of, but over Forces, over Lost World, it's an improvement. Because the cinematography, dialogue, the action, all of that good stuff is there. It just doesn't look as beautiful as you probably want it to. And then you have Cyberspace. How the fuck has Sonic Team basically just given the Project 06 treatment to their own game that is nowhere near Sonic 06's level of shit? One, the power boosters improved Cyberspace within the first update, but it wasn't enough because there were still some moments that are just scripted to have Sonic basically run slow as shit. I mean, look at the speed he's running at while I'm power boosting. What the fuck is this?
Kill yourself.
But once again, so long as you are spin dashing, everything changes. From playing the game as much as I have, I think I've noticed that Sonic has 2 separate types of coding, one when he's in a spin dash form and one when he's not. Essentially, so long as you're in spin dash form, this new coding of physics takes over. And then you have the fact that Cyberspace ripped off actual good level design, a lot being from the adventure games. And basically, in Sonic 06, level design was never much of a problem, it was Sonic's control. The exact same can be said for Cyberspace. But now that they've fixed Sonic's control, the entirety of Cyberspace, except for 3-5, suck my dick, is just 10 times more enjoyable and more replayable. And then you have the fact that Extreme makes the S ranks even tighter, which to be honest is completely redundant when you can do shit like this. I'm happy to say I have spent an unhealthy amount of time trying to find and perfect new shortcuts because playing Cyberspace is just so much more fun when you break it in half. It still has its issues as well, but not enough to bother me with the fact that this shit is still just a side gimmick. But all I can say is, if the devs truly want to go all in, please fix Sonic's turning. Make it so that his turning in Cyberspace is the same as the open zone, please. It's the one thing holding him back. But being able to actually go fast, yes, it's not the heights of Unleashed, but it's still the same level of thrills. The spin dash and boost jumping truly make the game 1,000 times more replayable. Frontiers can be the new generations, the game we can all look to in years later and think, yeah, that game was the bollocks. And then the combat, taking away the stupid camera angles, still not enough to fix what's wrong with it. In fact, I'd say this option is even worse because now the Grand Slam on Giganto looks like this. But you know what? The thought was there. Everything that Sonic has been putting out recently, Frontiers, Prime, the movies, Murder of Sonic for April Fools, Sonic Superstars not even having Green Hill return, and that is a classic Sonic game. Even Mania had Green Hill return. Sonic Superstars doesn't. Just think about that. Making Amy a recurring, replayable character for these classic games as well. Yes, they shagged it with Origins. Yes, they shagged it with Colors Ultimate. If Sega and Sonic Team can just sort their shit out when it comes to remasters and the next big 3D game actually sticks the landing without any updates, they'll be golden. Sonic Team and Sega are literally on a mission to make the franchise worth being excited for. I am here for it. And I know for a fact they're paying attention to the fans. They have to be. This one single cutscene from Chaos Island just screams that. Giving options to get rid of the camera angles for combat, even when it makes the cross slash look dodgy. It's just nice to see that thought to do that was there, because I think that means next time they do a combat system, they probably won't have the stupid camera angles. Now, when Update 3 happened, I plan to basically do a whole re-review of the game. Do you call it a retrospective if you review a game again, only after 1 year it's been out? I don't know at this point, but you know what? It seems only fair. Also because the 4 parts I did sucked absolute dick. And also I feel like I enjoy making videos again, kind of, as long as I have the fucking time to do it. But if the Titans end up not being single-handedly responsible for making this game cool, they have done right by me. Frontiers is an experiment, and if you want to bash the game for that, I'd say you have every right to. We should be paying for games, not experiments, but it's fully up to Sonic Team to make something out of this success instead of taking advantage of the short time periods when people give a shit just for the short-term profit. Origins Plus will still piss off everyone. That should have truly been the definitive classic collection. Instead, it was proof Sega just sucked dick when it comes to handling remakes. I saw a tweet once, and this was a fucking long time ago, and I can't find it, so if you want to believe that I'm just making this up, then I don't blame you, but basically it said something like Origins Plus was meant to be the actual collection, but then they released it when it was basically unfinished in the state that it was when Sonic Origins released the first time, and the reason they decided to release it in that state was because at the time, Sonic was hot, so it made sense to do that. Shut the fuck up. No, it doesn't. The goal should not be trying to take advantage of when Sonic is hot. The goal should be keeping Sonic hot. Again, I saw this tweet ages ago and I can't find it. So it might not have been that word for word or whatever, but it was something like that. I remember it because it pissed me the fuck off just seeing it. That mindset is a shit one and it needs to die. And realistically, that shouldn't go for just fucking game developers. It should go for fucking everyone. Specifically people that make videos. Like Bakuri Box made his video on the first update and released it the day after the second, and it's clear that his videos take fucking forever to make because they're always really high quality, and watching one of his videos you can just see the heart and soul, and part of that is because he takes his time to make sure it's as good as it can be regardless of when the topic of his video came out. More people need that mindset. Stop giving a fuck about the short-term minor benefit. Look at making something worth going back to later on, which is why this video has taken me fucking forever to make, because I just needed time to finish it. And this video probably is still going to be shit. I'm trying to do my best to make them even better than the shit I used to put out. I look back at the whole era of videos I made leading up to Frontiers, and I realized back then I was literally just take advantage of the fact that Frontiers was a hot topic at the time, but half those videos I made just seemed like absolute wank, and it pisses myself off knowing that I did that shit, so yeah. But it also pisses me off when I see that all over YouTube now. But looking to the future, DLC 3 will have the other playable characters characters and new story. Rumors have been going on about them even changing the final boss, whether that means only making Supreme a better fight, or the end, or both. The end game could have been the home run. Instead, it was liquid shit after an orgasmic chicken curry. But now, because of the massive gameplay changes, what are the odds they make a new ending as an optional one, kind of like the last stories of the adventure games? What if they do something like that? I doubt it. That probably is a bit too much to ask for, but I never could have expected the physics to change, or for actual new platforming challenges to be added, or for the spindash to make the entire adventure era of games look like disabled kids trying to run a marathon. Future is bright. Sonic is a franchise where risks are worth taking. I mean, this whole conversation of is Sonic 06 actually that bad when you look back at it after the games in the 2010s? Like, if someone wants to sit there and like defend 06 with their life after games like Forces have come out, you kind of just have to fucking let them do it, because if Forces was sick, no one would be looking back to that shit. Same goes for Lost World, same goes for Colors. Yes, I don't like Colors. That's why I find it so easy to take the piss out of Sonic Colors Ultimate as well. I guess the point I'm trying to make right now is Sonic is so much better when they do the crazy over-the-top shit. Yes, of course, there are limits, but I feel like the developers have been scared for so long on what gets praised and what doesn't. I mean, if I made Unleashed, and then I made Generations, and had Unleashed get slandered so much more than Generations, yeah, I'd feel like shit to the point of just playing it safe. But anyway, I think I've said all I can for now. I still need to recover because fucking shootout zombies can suck my dick, but I'm still gonna beat that shit. And if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, Green Hill needs to die, and cheers, lads! And until the next time, you have a good one.